Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead Season 10, and we're going to be talking about the Here's Negan episode. We have the extra 6 episodes coming up next month in February, and we just got the table read for Here's Negan. We've been getting table reads for all the episodes that we're going to be getting, all 6 episodes. This one is the last and final one, Here's Negan. I have the videos for the other table reads if you are interested. This one was awesome. It might be one of my favorites that we're having. I mean, I believe it's the finale of the 6 episodes, so it's a pretty big episode, and I'm really excited to talk about this. We get to actually see a scene between Negan and Lucille. There's some new characters in there, I think, or at least in the table read that I want to talk a little bit about. And there's just like a whole lot of stuff, to discuss within this table read. So very exciting stuff. Before I do get into it though, spoiler warning, general spoiler warning in case you aren't caught up or anything like that. And then also, if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we still have a lot of Walking Dead content coming up. But other than that, let's get into it. Alright, so here's Negan. Again, it's going to be an episode with Negan's backstory. I think there's going to be more to it than just Negan's backstory, but we're going to get flashbacks with Negan. Very excited about it, so let's get into it. So it starts off, let's talk about the character, or like the actors that we see on screen and their characters first, because this tells us that they're going to be in the episode most likely since they're in the table read. Alright, so Josh McDermott is narrating the scene, so I'm not sure if he's going to be in the actual episode as Eugene. I wouldn't think so, because remember, Eugene and them are with the Commonwealth, so I think he's just narrating this. But let's talk about the bottom first. So we have Jeffrey Dean Morgan, obviously Negan, Hillary Burton Morgan, who's playing Lucille, and then we have Lauren Cohan, Maggie, and then Melissa McBride, Carol. So we're gonna have some Maggie and Carol in this episode, which I think is really interesting because those two are connected with Negan. I know we're still waiting to see what Maggie's reaction is gonna be with Negan. Obviously, it's not gonna be a good one. But Carol in this episode, Carol apparently takes Negan on a journey, and this is where he starts getting his flashbacks and stuff like that. So I think maybe Carol's doing it to protect him because maybe Maggie's upset with Negan, and I think maybe that's why that we have Lauren Cohan here. But in this scene, we really just have Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hillary Burton talking. But it also seems like we have 2 new characters in this episode. So we can see in the top left and top right, we have Miles Musenden and then Rodney Rowland. Sorry if I said those names wrong. But we have 2 new characters. Again, we don't hear them in the scene that they released, but they're probably in the episode. Which is why they're in this table read. So we do have some new characters. We have Leah, who is the woman that Daryl runs into. We saw that in the previous table read. And then we also have Maze, which is the guy that Gabriel and Aaron run into. So we have new characters. I don't know if they're connected, if they're a group or what, just yet. So these 2 guys, Miles and Rodney, their characters could be characters that Negan runs into. I do have one interesting theory that I do like, but they could be part of the present day story, which is that they seem in the episode. Again, I'm not sure if they're connected to Maze and Leah, or if Maze and Leah are even connected themselves, but they also could be playing saviors, because if we're getting flashbacks with Negan, I don't know how deep they want to go into the flashbacks, if they want to show us. I know Here's Negan, the comic series, does show us a bit of Negan becoming Negan and meeting the saviors, but I think the show is going to do a little bit differently. So I don't know these definitely could be saviors that Negan runs into the episode, that's for sure. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about them? But I do think the saviors, the idea of them being saviors is there because of the flashbacks with Negan. But anyways, let's get into the scene. Alright, so I'm paraphrasing. I just quickly wanted to say that. So what I'm saying is the general idea of what's happening, but I don't want to just read it for word. I'd rather just talk a little bit about each thing. But basically, so it starts off in Leah's cabin, actually. So Negan is sitting there in Leah's cabin, which is the same cabin that Daryl runs into. So I don't know if that's just a coincidence, this is like a cabin nearby, or does Leah have something to do with this? Does Leah know Does Leah know Negan? Maybe. But also Carol was there with Daryl when they ran into Leah in that cabin. So maybe this happens because this is gonna be later on after that. So maybe she remembers the cabin and takes Negan there. But when I heard Leah's cabin, that kind of threw me off because I was like, does Leah know Negan or is it just a coincidence? But you guys let me know what you think. I mean, I don't think they would know each other, but we never know for sure. Anyway, so Negan is sitting at a fireplace and he's drinking, and he looks over and sees a leather jacket on the chair, and he says, little pig, let me in." And apparently there's some tears in his eyes. And apparently this is when we get the flashback. So the flashback kind of threw me off because apparently, or the narration at least said 12 years earlier, which doesn't make any sense. Well, I mean, so when they said 12 years earlier, I was like, okay, we're going way back, like we're going to go like probably the earliest we've ever been in the zombie apocalypse or on the show timeline wise. But in the flashback, we actually have walkers. So this is happening during the zombie apocalypse. So again, this is different. This is a little bit different than what happens in the comics. I'm not going to talk about the comics in the video, but this is a little bit different. But the 12 years threw me off because hasn't it been 10 years since the start of the apocalypse? So I don't know if that was a mistake or what, or I'm just missing something. Maybe it's 12 years, but I don't know. That's what the narration said. I don't know if in the actual episode we're going to see like 12 years earlier. I feel like if we do see the 12 years earlier, it'll kind of throw off people because isn't like the general consensus like 10 years? Like, isn't that what everyone is saying? So I don't know, unless I'm missing something. I always thought it was 10 years. All right, so yeah, 12 years earlier, we're in some basement. We can hear walkers outside. And then there's the refrigerator. Negan goes up. There's like a bed and a refrigerator, and Negan goes to the refrigerator, and there's some chemotherapy medicine in there because Lucille is sick. And then he takes over to Lucille, who's wearing a wig. We did see that in the production trailer they released. We saw a scene with Negan and Lucille, and we saw that she was wearing a wig. So again, this is a little bit different in the comics because Lucille isn't that involved in the actual zombie apocalypse. So I think they're changing it up a bit. But anyways, he takes the medicine to Lucille, and she is looking through some DVDs, thinking of a movie to watch. And Negan says that now is not a time, we might need to skip the movie right now. And then Lucille notices the walkers outside, and Negan says like the generator is making too much noise. So this is where things get a little bit interesting because Lucille says that we're going to have to kill it. And Negan says, why bother? Turn the generator off and they lose interest. And Lucille says it's not like killing a person. It's not even like killing an animal. So this is interesting because like you can see here how much Negan has changed. So back then when it started, he couldn't even really kill a walker. And yeah, you can see how much he changed and how different he is. And Lucille even says like, you gotta let it stop bothering you. And Negan says it doesn't bother him. He's just worried that he's gonna get used to it. So yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about because like he didn't even want to kill these walkers because he was worried that he would get too used to it. And you can see how different he is now. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see this episode because we're seeing how much Negan has changed, and that's really interesting. And this seems to be obviously really early before Negan becomes Negan. This episode looks to have a lot in it, especially since we even have present day stuff going on. I'm assuming because we have Maggie and Carol in the scene or in the episode, and they're obviously not going to be in the flashback. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested in seeing how much stuff they're going to fit in, with the Here's Negan or the Negan flashbacks, because I really hope they show him becoming Negan. Like making the bat, the Lucille bat, maybe meeting the saviors. That's why I kind of thought these two other characters could be saviors that he meets in the flashbacks, or they could just be present day characters, like Maze and Leah. So because we do know we're getting some other characters, but you guys let me know in the comments down below what do you think about that. But anyway, so continuing the scene, so after Negan says that he doesn't want to get used to it, or he's worried that he's going to get used to it, Lucille understands and nods and then gives him a kiss, and then that is where the scene ends. So it was a pretty short scene, but an awesome one to say the least. So overall, really great scene. This is one of my most anticipated episodes. The only thing that kind of threw me off was that 12 years earlier. Kind of thinking, is there going to be another time skip, or was that a mistake, or is it always been 12 years? I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about that. But anyways, that was the scene we got. I'm going to wrap it up there for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below about this scene. Let me know, what do you want to see in this episode? You know, like, what do you want to see in the flashbacks for Negan? Very interested in hearing from you guys. But again, I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. And for more Walking Dead videos, just be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you guys soon.